Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle. This is Kyle's Trail Miles, where I talk about all things running and ultra running. And today I'm doing my backyard ultra recap video. I'm going to talk about just my overall experience on the day, what worked, what didn't work, and then just I'm not a religious person, but I definitely got a sign from God or Buddha or whoever you believe in, definitely gave me a clear sign. And then what my sort of path is moving forward, and it's probably maybe a little different than you may expect. So let's dive right in. First of all, the day. I mean, let me get to the result first. The result was not what I was looking for. My goal that I didn't want to kind of say out loud was 24 laps, and I ended up doing 12, so half of it. In my defense, it was like the craziest, hottest day ever, full sun, but I'll get to that in a second. So not the experience I wanted, but I learned a lot, and I definitely have a path moving forward. So here we go. Everything leading up to the race went great. I was very busy at work that week and just with life commitments, but nothing major. Like, I had a plan of attack, so the organization and everything went very well. The morning of, we got our tent set up in a great spot, so that was awesome. And the morning of, got down, got a good parking spot, got there lots of time, lots early. And so just the lead up to the race was great. Before the gun went off, everything was fantastic. And then the gun went off, and that's always that time where you're like, okay, how do I feel? That first couple of kilometers in any long ultra race, you just hope, please don't let today be that day where I just, feel the grind. And I didn't. It was great. I felt the first lap was so smooth. I just felt so great. And so I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be an awesome day. Now, it was forecast to be hot, so I knew it was going to be hot out that day, but I love the sun. I love the heat. Physiologically, maybe not. I mean, I'm a human being, but just mentally, and I just love sun. I live up where, we're inside most of the winter. So when you finally get outside and it's just that beautiful sunshine, I love it. And so it was hot. I mean, we're up to, I think somebody said we were up to 30 degrees and totally full sun. Like, no, maybe 10% of the course had any kind of tree cover, and zero clouds in the sky the whole day. Like, it was beautiful. And so, yeah, the first few laps went good, although I did, well, I'll get into this in a minute when I talk about what didn't work. So, yeah, just the race experience was fantastic. I felt great most of the day until I didn't, and then I just kind of ran into stomach issues. So I would say about lap, 10, I started recognizing some real GI issues, which I'll kind of get into in a minute. I think I know what caused that. And then from there, it was downhill. Once your body stops digesting food, when you just don't have energy coming in, man, it's crazy how everything just shuts down, including your mind. Like, there must be this crazy evolutionary thing built in where when you're not getting calories, your mind just says, please stop. Like, what are you doing? And you can override that, but at what cost? I have overridden that before and ended up in the hospital. So, I try to be mindful of that. And so anyways, lap 13, lap 12 was halfway, 50 miles. And, that was my day. And, disappointing. But again, awesome day. Like, it was fun. It's not like I was grinding it the whole time. Like, the first 10 laps were so much fun, and just, had a great time chatting with my buddies and just enjoying the day, right? So it was good. But moving on. What did I learn? What worked? Okay, first of all, what worked was I went to Costco the week before and I found these mandarin fruit cups. And I thought, I bet you those would be good. And so I would eat one of those in between each lap, and that worked really, really well. They were so fast to eat, 100, I think, calories. And yeah, I would definitely do that again. Like, just really, really good. The organization that I had in my tent was great. I had everything right there that I needed. I really sort of planned that out, which was awesome. And that really came from, I was watching a YouTube video about, I think it was like Sally McRae, and she said something about how what she'll do is she packs her bag in a way that, and then practicing, she'll actually like blindfold herself, and then, okay, I need to get my headlamp. Boom, where is it? I need to get my, right? And so she knows where everything is without even looking. And whereas I think some of us just throw stuff in our bag. And I thought, I'm going to be the same way with how I organize my tent. So I really thought about it leading up, like, where am I going to have everything? And so, yeah, when I came into the tent, I just knew where everything was. And that worked really, really well. I drank a lot of Coke throughout, and I think that worked good. Did that lead to my GI distress? Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, so those things all really kind of worked out well. What didn't work was, man, what didn't work was I bought these New Balance shoes a couple weeks ago. They were on sale at my local running store. They're a couple years old, but they're like very paddy. And I thought, this is great. I tried them on. I went for a 10K run. Everything was great. But man, I think what happened was they are a little bit tighter shoe. And I tend to wear my shoes kind of loose because I like my heel to have a little bit of slippage back there. I find if it's like tight, then I get blisters. And these ones were a little tight. And plus I put a little extra tape around my heel and on my foot just to, because I was going on a long run. And so I think it just even made my foot a little bit tighter. And man, on my left heel, I could feel on the first lap, I was like, okay, is that a hot spot? And I was like, that cannot be a hot spot. There's like 5 pieces of tape in that exact spot. There's no way that's a hot spot. So I kind of just ignored it. And then I went out on the second lap and I was like, okay, this is definitely a hot spot that's forming on my heel. Like, what the heck? And I almost wore them out on the third lap. And I'm like, no, I better not, just in case. And so sure enough, I take them off. And what had happened was it actually was rubbing so much that it grabbed the tape, and now the tape was rubbing on my... And so, yeah, I'm glad I switched out of these and went to my tried and true Saucony shoes. I went to the Exodus shoes, and they were good. But these were so much better, like from a cushioning perspective. So moving forward for next year, I'll find, I'll just have a better, more tried and true pair of like really high stack road shoes, because I think that'll just be better for that. Because you don't need trail shoes. Like it's on trails, but it's not, you're not like, you get it. The other thing that was weird that I could have never anticipated was last year I bought what I would consider a special hat, a very, very thin. What I wanted to buy is a white hat that was incredibly thin. I like wearing full back baseball caps when I run, and I wanted a really, really thin one. So when I was out in the mountains or in a race or whatever, and it was super hot, I would have like a white, really thin hat. And so I found this one and I was like, this is great. And so I started out the race in a blue, not this exact one, but it was very, very similar to this, a Blue Jays hat that was like all blue. And it was great because I'd come in at the end of each lap and I'd hose it down. They had a hose there. So I'd hose it all down and then I'd put it on and it would just really cool me down. And then before we went out, I would do it. And so I'm out there on about lap, like, I don't know, 4 or 5. And I'm wearing a red shirt and my blue cap. And I'm thinking, wait, what am I doing here? Like, it's crazy hot. I should be wearing a white shirt and my white hat, which is what I specifically bought it for. If I'm not going to wear it now, why did I buy it? So I'm like, all right. So I come in, I grab my white shirt and I grab my white hat and I spray this hat down on my way out and I put it on and I'm like, the heck? And I don't know, something about this material, or because it's so thin, it just didn't hold any like water. So when I put it on, like this one would hold sort of enough water that for probably like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I could feel the coolness. This one gave me like 50 seconds and it done. And I was like, what? And so here's the stupid part is I have a regular style hat, exactly the same one as the Blue Jays that I was wearing, that's all white. Why didn't I, the very next lap, switch to this hat? And then I could, I thought about it. As I was out on the lap, I'm like, okay, I got to switch to this hat so that it holds more water. And then I just didn't. I got back and maybe that was the difference maker. Just a stupid little thing like that. Other big mistake I made was I don't like wearing like exercise shirts, those like Stay Cool. I don't even know what they're called. Like they have a name, Stay Dry, that type of thing. I just wear like regular, like, I don't know, cottony shirts. I know you're not really supposed to, but I just like the feel of them. I can tell right away when I feel material if it's going to be a shirt I'm going to wear in life or running. And this shirt isn't that, but I bought it at Costco that same time I bought the oranges because I thought, well, I don't know, like everybody wears these. Like, I'll try it out for a lap. And so right around lap like 6, right at the peak sun, I wear this shirt. And holy crap, 4 minutes into the run, I was like, what is going on? Like it was like I was wearing a furnace. Like I don't know, I don't know, but man, like it wasn't breathing. It was so hot. I've never been so hot. So I kept like fanning it and trying to like, and I wanted to take it off so bad, but I didn't want to be that guy. And so like I got in after that lap and I think I'm going to burn it. But I think those two things combined just led to me overheating. Like I generally don't have too much of a problem with the heat. I was wearing a lot of sunscreen and stuff, of course. But I think those two things are two mistakes I made. I think if I should have started off with this hat and right from the start been spraying it, and then just started off with my regular shirt. But anyways, did that factor in? Who knows? The other mistake I made is because it was so hot, I had packed steak and potatoes as sort of like my meal. So I had all my little what I was eating on the run. But then I thought, every 4 or 5 laps I'll try to get down some steak and potatoes just to have some real substance in my thing. And I threw that into ChatGPT after I was done the race, and it basically was like, "What are you, an idiot? Like already like 30% of your blood flow is going to keep yourself cool, and now you're going to throw steak in your stomach? Like, no." And so, obviously that was a mistake. I should have just stuck to like more liquid and I had it all there. I had Tailwind. I had, I had tons and tons of calories that were liquid or very easy to digest. And instead I decided to eat steak. Anyways, so I'm convinced that had I done a better job cooling myself, ate better food, I could have done better. But in my defense, like if I was planning on going 24 laps, I felt like I had to get real food in my stomach. And the other thing that didn't work, and this is one of those things you just got to try it to know that it doesn't work, is the last 2 times I went in the Backyard Ultra, I came in at like 47, 48 minutes. And this time I thought I'm going to come in around 53 minutes because I thought a little more walking out on the course, keep your heart rate down, and then a little less rest, because really what is that rest giving you versus like walking out on the course? And so I thought, I think I'm going to just really err on the side of giving myself more slow time on the course versus resting. But what I did not take into account is just the amount of time you require to just kind of like get things done at the end of every lap. And so when I would come in at 52, 53 minutes, well, like I talked about in my earlier video, you burn a minute just kind of getting to your tent. We had to check in our number each time. So that, that's 10 seconds, then my hat, then get to my tent. So you burn a minute just getting to your tent. So now you're at 54 minutes. You burn a minute just kind of getting whatever you're going to eat. So now you're at 55 minutes. And so then you have basically 2 to 3 minutes to relax, eat. So everything had this like sense of urgency to it when I was in the pit. Whereas I don't remember that from previous years. I remember coming in, being able to take 1 or 2 minutes, just kind of relax, drink a bit of water, and then kind of gather yourself. And it just worked way better. This wasn't a good experience from that perspective. And so I tried to rectify that around lap 10. I actually came in, I think, at like 47, 48 minutes. And by then it was too late. I was too far gone. And so, and then that may have even, helped out my GI distress. So, yeah. So anyways, okay. So here's how I got this was my biggest fail though. My absolute biggest fail of this whole situation is I came into this run overweight. I'm just going to say it like that. Like a reasonable, and I'm just going to say the word reasonable, but a reasonable race weight for me would be 165 pounds. My sort of like walk around weight just in life is maybe like 168. I came into this race at 173, which, come on, man, what are you doing? And so, well, why did that happen? Well, I got all the excuses. Basically, the month leading up to this race, I was really, really busy. And I think what happened was I had a really good training block in the winter. I was eating right. I was doing everything kind of right. And then just this last month, I just sort of let my foot off the gas a little bit. And you know how it is. Once you dive into the world of kind of fast food, junk eating, it just snowballs. And I had to do a lot of traveling for work. And so did I stop at a grocery store and get healthy options? Of course not. I stopped at Wendy's, and so, 1 pound turns into 2, and next thing you know, I'm stepping on the scale and I'm like, what is happening here? And yeah, so I'm out there running, and I thought, rolling into this, I knew I was overweight, and I was just like, it'll all work out. And so I'm out there, and God, Buddha, whoever's up there sent me this clear sign where I've had this a few times in my running career where if I get really bad dry mouth, but I'm drinking a lot of fluids, that means, things are going horribly wrong, because that means my stomach's not working. And so I'm out there running, and I realize, I got really bad dry mouth. So I don't recognize it right away, but I take a bunch of drinks, and I'm like, man, and as soon as I realized, I was like, oh no. And I can still tell exactly where I was. I can remember it so clearly. I'm running along this little, path almost to the turnaround point, and I'm like, and I look down, and it's, again, I've only had this about 3 times in my life, but I look down, and my stomach is basically like a basketball. Like, maybe that's an exaggeration, but everything I'd eaten in the last 3 hours drank, it was right there. And it was just like, blah, sloshing around. I'm just like, I looked down and I was like, oh, this is not good. And so I stopped running right there, do a bit of walkie walk, and I'm thinking, hopefully, like, what am I going to do? So I actually took like 54, 55 minutes on that lap trying to get some things happening. And then, yeah, it just didn't recover after that. I think I got a little bit of something moving, but by then it was, it was just game over. And, yeah. And so, and that's the thing, once you lose calorie intake and you burn up everything you have, man, it is crazy. Like that feeling is the craziest thing. Yeah, it's just crazy. And so the very last lap I went out, and I didn't think I was going to finish it. And the only way that I finished it was because I said to myself, okay, if you finish this lap, we're done. And then I was able to just like mentally, drive through that lap and make it happen. So yeah, so, what I would do differently next year is not a ton. All things being equal with the heat and everything, I would probably have some t-shirts maybe frozen in my freezer, put them in water, freeze them, and then have them just in my cooler. I'll test that out a little bit first. I saw it with Jim Walmsley actually do that in Western States last year, and I thought that's a great idea. And so I probably underestimated the importance of like just keeping my core body temperature cold. But so I'd maybe do a little bit of that. I'd maybe have more frozen soft flasks, so that I was drinking really cold water, because halfway around the loop they were, warm at best, and so I'm drinking warm water, and little things I could have done better, of course. But anyways, that's the way she goes. So anyways, so the sign I got from God or Buddha, life, whatever, was, listen, what are you doing? Like, you put all this time and energy into your training. I'm running 70 kilometers a week all freaking winter. And then I come into my first race a solid 10 pounds overweight. And really think about that. Imagine the winner of this race if we put a 10-pound vest on him. Is he going to win the race? No, he's probably going to do half of what, and then I look and I say, like, when I took off my New Balance shoes and I put on my trail shoes, and I was like, man, I can feel my heels a little. Like, it's not, yeah, you probably can, because you're 10 pounds overweight. Every footstep, you're throwing an extra 10 pounds on. And 10 pounds is just to get to reasonable race weight. I could probably lose 15 pounds, maybe even 20 pounds. 20 pounds might be extreme, but 15. And I would still maintain all my muscle mass and be good to go. So what's stopping me from doing that? I mean, come on. So life, God, whatever, said, listen, if you're gonna do this, then do it. You don't get to come into these races 10 pounds minimum overweight and expect to come out here and do well, especially in the heat. So yeah, at that moment I was like, all right, enough's enough. Like, we got to make some changes. So where do I go from here? Well, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't know about anybody else out there. I can't speak for other people on this, but for me, it's pretty simple. I have like two variations of motivation. There's success motivation, where when you succeed at something, it's this very like positive, I don't know, clean, pure motivation, and it can really kind of just like uplift you into like whatever you're doing. You know, it's a really sort of good motivator. But then I also have when I come out of something and I've failed at it, and this was a fail. I mean, I will admit that. When I come out of a failure, it's like that motivation is different. It's like this dark, like, gets in your bones motivation. You know what I mean? Like it's a different kind of motivation. And I've had it my whole life. I'm a really, really obsessive person, and more so after a failure. Like when I fail at something, my obsessive personality just, man, it comes. And I can already it's here. It was here that day. Like that day when I finished and I went home, it was like, you know, it was there, and it's here. And the only way to get rid of it is to vindicate myself, which will be some form of success in a long event. And yeah, so anyways, the weight's got to go. Like yeah, that's my number one goal right now, beyond anything else. Is training is great, but if I'm not gonna, you know, if I'm gonna do this like 270 kilometer FKT attempt this year, or at a 100-mile race, come on, man. Like I'm not doing it at 175 pounds. I'm not even doing it at 165 pounds. Like, come on, man. Like this is enough's enough. So yeah, already taken measures. I think I'm already, since my race, I think I'm already down 2 pounds. And so, yeah, I'm not stopping. This has got to happen. And I'm already excited about it. And here we go. So thanks, everyone. And we will talk to you soon.